Hey, Get Fox here. Today we got a new patch. I spent about 4 hours on stream today testing it. Here are my thoughts, my conclusions. I'm going to go through the whole thing. It's one of the biggest gameplay changes, I think, in Madden history that we've seen in a patch. I'm sure there's been others, but this is really, it tops it. There's some things changed, some things I'm a little disappointed with. We'll go through that whole thing as we go through the list of things that have been changed. All right, so let's swap right over to the internet. It is now on computers. So the October title update, they added hot routes and chems. Let's start from the bottom and go up, because I think the most important stuff, things we care about most. Madden Ultimate Team, some gameplay changes are at the bottom. So let's go through the MUT stuff first. Then we'll go in. Of course, the new MUT ability is the biggest change, I think, in my opinion. I think this is a good thing. This allows people to kind of get out of the same old formations, using the same post routes, corner routes, Pat Sale out of Gun Bunch because it's got really good crosser. I have a caveat about the crosser. They added the short post, and we'll talk about that in a second. But I love this. I love the customization. I love getting it extra customization into the game. The only issue is, can the defense keep up? In my opinion, they can. We'll go into that in a little bit, why I think they can. But this is nice. It's not like super nice, not because it isn't like super cheap and not like that customizable. How you get these special route running chems and stuff. So you can go into either your binder or your lineup. You go to a player. You see I have it on Herman Moore already. I have it on Zach Ertz and Herman Moore. I got a couple red chems there. You can't really see it. It's kind of a little small there on the red chem. But player options, upgrade. So I'll just show you what Herman Moore can get for his ability. So I got deep route specialist on him now. He can get that and elite route specialist. The deep route specialist is at 90 deep route running and above. The short route running is at 90. There's a short specialist, which is 90 route running. And then the elite route specialist is at 90 overall and a 90 awareness to get that one. Now, they each come with different hot routes. Like, they don't make the players run the routes better. They just make hot routes different when you're on the field for those players. And that's why I think the ability to have these things, to have different hot routes to make more formations viable in the game is such a huge, important thing. The only issue is it's kind of expensive. We will see it, but I think it kind of creates a little bit of a gap in, like, say, knowledge or experience, like, gap, I guess, and not necessarily skill, but knowledge gap and scheme gap. Because a lot of these routes, you're still going to see a lot of the same meta stuff they saw before, because they really haven't made much better. We'll get that when we get to the gameplay stuff, and I talk about the crossers and the good formations still, and testing those out and coming away a little disappointed on that. This just makes more formations viable, adding these things to your receivers. I love it. I think this opens up a lot of playbooks. Like, when I look at playbooks in the past prior to this patch, I looked at, like, what is great for what pass plays and route concepts and routes specifically are great that can beat zones that need to be usered. Now you can kind of look at, like, what are great runs, and then you can kind of scheme in your own little post pattern, corner pattern, passing patterns there. So it changes it up a little bit. You also want to look for unbumpables and stuff. So there's a little bit of still looking for glitchy pass patterns, but you can also kind of work in, like, more runs. Although a lot of people base it around runs. I feel like I'm going on a little bit. Like, there's still a lot there to find a really good formation, find a really good thing to go with. But that's it for the route running. Well, I think near the end I'll go through each one of the routes and what they do and my experience with them. But we'll circle back to that near the end of the gameplay section here. All right, so let's go back to the internets. We'll do it when we get to this Mudhead article about all the different routes and stuff, and I'll tell you their downsides, upsides, and stuff like that, and where I think and which position I should get each one. All right. Fix an issue in situation. Yeah, so situational pass rusher got patched because you lose stamina too quickly. Is what it is. I guess that was an issue. People noticed. They fixed it. Good job, EA. This one, I mean, I want to give him a good job for fixing it, but it took Muttleaks, the guy we had on the podcast, to really call this out on Twitter. I don't know if these things would have got patched so quickly without Muttleaks making it public. They still owe us back pay, I guess. They should give us, everybody that bought these things, they should give them training back. It's some sort of way of, like, apologizing for being broken for 2 months of your game. So these things, now they're working a little bit better. I don't know if they're balanced. I tested out my way. It was pretty okay. It lit up a little bit inconsistent. I tried it on my LT, and it lit up. I saw it light up. I saw him shed some dudes really nicely. I used him, shedding a guy instantly, because the win bonus for that is now 100% on a user. The footsteps, I tested that. I tried like 10 to 15 passes near Shaz. Didn't see it light up when I was using him. I don't know what I was doing wrong, but I was standing right next to receivers. The ball was thrown to him, didn't light up. I don't know if I need an animation or what it was, but I was literally standing right there. No light up with the footsteps, no drops. I'm a little concerned still about footsteps, but I'll take that online. I will keep testing it, see if I see it light up at all. But yeah, that one, they said it's patched, but okay. All right. Next up, Chrome. All right, Mutt Squad's got a little patch. I don't play a lot, so I didn't see this a whole lot, but nice. All right, ability to post auctions with specific value. Huge change for the auction house. Back in the day, and Mutts of yore, you used to do a little bit of a scum tactic. You used to be able to post these things for 111, and I don't think they had commas back then. So people would buy it thinking it's like a snipe. Like say this OJ Howard, how much do you go for? So you go for 14K. So what they do is go like, and I don't think it's gonna work this now because a lot of these things they're naturally filtered by buy now. So if you go auction, put it up for an hour. We'll just put it up for a day. I'll just take it down so nobody actually bids on it. Whoops, that went up way too high. Also, they sped that up too. All right, so you put it up for a day at say like 9,000 right here, and then the buy now price. You enter your manual price. You put it all once. People think you're posting it for 11,000, but you post it for 111,000. And like what? But what's nice about this is that they have the comma there, so people should be able to see it. But basically, you can enter your manual price both places by hitting X here on the Xbox One. So you can do 9999 like that. So that's how you do it. How people are able to enter it. But I don't think it's gonna work. So I'm not even gonna post it. Anyways, next up, after the manual, so that's kind of a cool addition. I only really wanted it, like, the only fix I really needed here was like just this to go faster. Like they sped this up. That was perfect. That's all I needed. But you know, it is what it is. So it's kind of cool. More customization there. What else was I gonna say about that? Get ready for the one coin undercutters, but you know that's the market, right? You got to fight for your profits. So one coin undercutter, go ahead and get yours, right? Don't be, I mean, they would have undercut you by 100 coins if it wasn't one coin. All right, let's go over to the gameplay updates. Tuned to increase the frequency of face mask penalties, some of the strip ball, coached aggressive. So, good. Strip ball aggressive, it felt a little bit busted. I had it, got some strips. I heard fumbles are kind of frequent now. I don't know if that's random, but that's kind of hearing the early feedback. I'll probably need to play a week on this game to tell you where fumbles at, because they happened quite a bit before the patch too. I don't like them. I hate fumbles. I wish they were less frequent. I don't mind them being in the game. I just hate how frequent they were from strip balls. Like that punch out from behind was broken. I haven't played enough to see if it's still broken. All right, tune to QBs. Yeah, okay. So I put out the video saying, hold. This is a typo. It's right bumper or R1 instead of right trigger or R2. So QBs would hold that right bumper, and then you could take hit sticks all you want. You wouldn't fumble. It was in my video, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's kind of glitchy," and it was. So now they patched it to make your quarterback fumble. So that rip that technique. Now you must slide with your quarterback. I tested that on the stream. I was able to pop a quarterback with a hit stick and get a fumble. That is definitely confirmed. That definitely works as they want it to. Tuned to improve the running animation used when a ball carrier makes slight direction change. Like, so this is one of the quote-unquote features they added into real player motion, where if you're holding acceleration, you're holding the right trigger to get that speed boost or to go fast, you turn like a boss. You turn really slowly, really slightly. Even with Deion Sanders, it's an issue. I hate when they take control away from our left stick. They make the game like more like, I don't know, like just watching a movie almost. Like it's like, come on, I want to move him, but he isn't moving very fast. I want control of our avatars. I want user control to be as functional. My left stick equals exactly what they're doing on the field, like that. Like I don't want any delay. I hate the lag, because you know how bad lag is, because you don't really feel like you're in control of your player. It's like it doesn't respond to you very well. That's the worst. I want this game to be as responsive as possible, and to have us moving like buses, even when we're holding right trigger, that's not responsive in my opinion. So I'm glad that they're taking a look at this and changing it. Something I got to take a look at and test in the future. I didn't notice anything too crazy, too much, but I didn't specifically test this point. This is something we'll have to talk about in a week after playing online quite a bit. Next up, tuned to decrease disengage angle for defenders versus the run game. Now, I don't think the run game was bad in 19. I thought the run game was exactly where it worked, where it was. I think dives, tosses, inside zones, they were working perfectly fine. I don't like any buff to the run game here. They said their numbers were below their target for amount of yards per carry. I don't believe that. I think like maybe in certain, maybe like CFN players maybe thought sheds were crazy. I heard that feedback from Twitter a little bit. CFN guys like, oh, this is crazy. They're on this. They have tuners. They can change that slider like 1 or 2 points if they don't want as many sheds. But I don't think I don't love the buff, but I think it's okay. I just want to see how it plays out on the field. I want to give this a week to see how the run game is. So they made the run game better. They made the pass game better with these audibles. We'll see how many people get into the audibles and start using them more often. I think it's going to be quite a few at the top end of the ladder. But regardless, this is going to affect, I think, more like cornerbacks. Guys, I think a little bit lower strength maybe. And basically because a lot of cornerbacks, not necessarily because of strength rating, but just the way they're able to get off blocks is like they wouldn't get the shed. Like there's 2 different types of way of getting off a block. It's like sheds and disengage. Basically, you run away from the guy. I've always had an issue with disengages because it feels like they disengage at like weird angle. Like if you're standing up to a blocker and then you shift your momentum and start running away from him, like backwards, like I've seen some guys, like the blocker's just gonna hold you and they'll just put you on your ass, right? If you shift your momentum away from a guy pushing you. So like if you're standing with a guy like pushing at him and then you shift to go this way and you go and so you're both running the same direction, he's gonna topple you. So the disengages were a little weird, but I could see why they're in the game because you won't necessarily get a shed, and sometimes the angle is right for a disengage. It's just some of them don't really match up with physics in my opinion. But as for block shedding, so the corners that like the Deion Sanders that has low block shedding, you'd often see them disengage and get around blockers and then make plays on your running back before you can like get out there. So to have less of a disengage angle before they can get off their block, I think this is going to help running quite a bit, especially outside, maybe off tackle like a power run because a lot of ends were disengaging too. So you're going to see a little bit of a buff to the run game. I don't know if it's straight up the middle, like where you see those sheds more often by like defensive tackles. I don't know if it'll help it as much there. Because you'll still need animation. You'll still need those sheds animations to get those. But I think definitely to the outside it's buffed again, which, great. We're bringing back more of the stretch meta of 18, right? All right, moving on. Added logic to prevent extremely late fair catch calls on kick returns. Great stuff. This was an issue with the game. If you called it late, you messed up and it hit your chest and fumbled on the ground. And just don't allow it to call late fair catches, just like the real NFL. Tune stamina to hold deceleration burst mechanics. So they align defense players with offensive players for stamina for acceleration burst. I don't know what was wrong with it. Was this had to do with defenders catching offensive players? I didn't know there was an issue with stamina on D and O, but I don't know. I don't even know which one they made worse, which one they made better. Regardless, I guess if they're tuning the game, it's their game. I hope. I'm sure they know what's going on with there. All right, pass coverage. Improved zone logic for cover 3 and cover 4 versus multiple crossing routes. All right, I can tell you cover 3 is fake news. Cover 4, I feel more inclined to believe. I've seen Idlewild talk about it. I tested it just slightly. I tested it versus a play on stream, and the cover 4 handled crosses pretty well. Cover 3, though, unless they're talking about cover 3 match, which I didn't test, cover 3 is still getting exposed by crossers. So that's still the solo cheeses crossers. Even on stream, I don't think they put it in the notes. I think this is what they're talking about with the cover 3 zone logic. On vert hooks, hook curls. Sorry, not vert hooks. On hook curls, they're supposed to match the crossing route. What I did was test this out with both Diamond Earl Thomas at free safety, subbed in at linebacker and at his natural free safety position with a crosser, and Shaz at his linebacker position, non-usered. That Clint said it's going to work because he'll recognize it and run with the crosser. The problem is people run Tyreek Hill there or other fast receivers, Moss. Your guy doesn't recognize the crosser quick enough for it to make up for it. So you still have to use her. Like, they'll see it, they'll match But the match is going to come so late that the man coverage just gets busted. Like, he doesn't go quick enough with those crossing patterns. They got to be able to recognize that a little quicker. I mean, these are top-end cards with high-end play rec. These things are chemmed out. Like, let me show you my Earl Thomas. Like, he should be able to recognize a crosser if that's his job. Where are you at? Earl Thomas. All right. View item. Compare. Just take a look at his, like, zone coverage at 96, play rec at 95. Like, that should be able to recognize a guy. Like, if he's in a zone, he should be able to recognize that crosser earlier. Like, there's no excuse for a high-end guy. Awareness at 92, maybe it's an awareness check. I don't know. But the fact that he would recognize it so late, even with a decent awareness, high play rec, high zone coverage, just means to me that it's still broken. It's cool to say that you fixed it, you added a new rule, but it effectively does nothing. It effectively basically takes a defender out of coverage because they trail her out instead of sitting in their zone, so they basically become useless because they don't cover the guy that they're supposed to be covering, and then they take out of their other zone. So like anything else coming through, he's useless. All right. Next up, did I show you guys Earl Thomas? Did I show you that? Did I flip it over for Earl Thomas? I don't remember. Did I show it? Sorry. I don't know if I showed it to you. Sorry. Let me go like this. Yeah, there he is. Play rec, zone coverage. Sorry if I didn't flip you over. I don't recall. It's late. Anyways, not that late. Finish the fix from the previous update. The cover 3 will correctly cover both the flat and wheel routes, fake screen wheel. Nobody really runs that again. Cover 3 just breaks it as is. That's fine. Cool. That they finally fixed fake screen wheel fully. Fixed an issue causing deep zone players to sometimes not react to deep routes when using man up 3 deep. Devastating. I almost got close to winning a couple games off this. You basically call like a out route, and the cover 3, the deep zone on the man up 3 deep stays with the out route. Then you run like a crosser behind it. Yeah, I tried it twice games. I lost both games because the man coverage kept up and swatted it away. But it was kind of cool. I almost had it. Almost had you. But if Randy Moss can't do it, it didn't work. But they fully fixed it, so good. I mean, it shouldn't have been exploitable in the first place. Next up, improve zone logic for cover 6 and cover 4 quarters versus trips formation. Oh, they finally got a trips check, huh? Comment section talking about how I don't know real football because trips is supposed to play that way where the two guys are supposed to cover the outward breaking route and let the seam go for a touchdown. Really? There's no trips check in the NFL, in college, with cover 4 and cover 6? No, I'm not salty about your stupid fucking comments. All right, so they fixed improved the zone logic for cover 6 and cover 4. Cool. Tuned to decrease the frequency of defenders playing the ball when covering routes well in front of intended receiver. Now, a lot of people are like, well, did they break it more? They're not playing the ball. What? So what this, I think, means is that they'll play the man and try and knock it out from the man, right? Basically, what I'm talking about is when you have, say, a free safety and a post route is coming at that free safety, oftentimes if you throw that post route, the free safety would like try and like dive for the ball and like miss, and then your post route would just be running for touchdown. That's happening multiple times. So now I think maybe they'll play the man and get an animation and knock it down that way. That's what I hope they mean. I hope that's what that means, that they play it better like that for the intended receiver, but I'm not sure. All right, real play motion. It's just an animation issue. Yeah, that one I don't care. Fix the rare issue causing the QB throw a very accurate pass. Sideways. Yeah, rare issue. I never ran into that, but good that they fixed it. Fix an issue causing the QB to sometimes fail to hand the ball off the back on high-fat blunt dive plays. Never seen that myself, but good. Fixed an issue causing the ball to appear in the wrong hand for punters and safety punts. A visual issue. Don't really care. All right, pre-play. All right, I never ran into that, but good. Tune it like these. Some of these are rare exploits, but I'm glad they're out of the game. I never heard of some of them. Glad they're gone. Tune to improve jog animation and huddle rates. Basically, you can get to line and snap it in 6 seconds now. It used to be 8. I think I got close to 4 on some of it. They really hustle up. It's really nice. So you can. That's much better if you're in a no huddle situation. After you call a play, they get up really quick. Not realistic sometimes, but it is Madden. Address an issue to allowing offensive players to reset defensive players. Yeah, this was huge, dude. I can't tell you how many blitzes I sent, just randomly setting a corner or sending a corner on purpose. And then they'd audible, and all of a sudden my guy's dropping into a zone, or rezoning a guy, changing a guy's zone, and then they audible and they change his zone to something I don't want. I'm like, what? What is this? So that was a major issue for me. For the offense to be able to dictate and change your defensive zones. That was a huge bug, and I'm glad they fixed it. Or at least it's addressed for now. We'll see if there's another way of doing it for the offense in the future. Address an issue causing defensive linemen move into each other when using audibles on field goal block plays. I don't know if this stopped. They talked about the field goal block below, I think, a little bit too. I don't know if this is the issue but basically get rid of field goal blocks that are not animation based, please. Thank you. Remove the ability to motion the inside tight end. This is what I call like hack development. Basically, instead of fixing the issue, they said, all right, you can't do it. You can't move the guy, so the issue isn't going to cause. It's like putting, I don't know, duct tape over a hole in a dam, right? Like, yeah, it works. It's not in real life, but it works, I guess. Just don't allow us to do it. Like, but it's kind of like a cheap way out. All right, 2 new improved defensive back movement animations, getting set of the line in pressure man situations or coverages. Great. I didn't notice too much craziness there, but good that it changed. I didn't run into that bug. Maybe I did and I just didn't notice. Catching. Adjust an issue prevent catching animation from triggering if the user. All right, so here it is. Here, user ball hawk. Address an issue preventing a catch animation from triggering if the user had bad ball hawk timing on interception attempt. Now a catch animation will trigger even if the button is pressed too early, but will still result in a drop. So the end result's fine, I guess. Well, the end result's the same. I don't know about fine. I still hate drops. Yeah, I don't know. Bad ball hawk timing? What does that mean? If you held it down the whole play? Doesn't seem like it. If you hold it down too early? Sure. I guess animation drop. If a banner triggers saying why you dropped it, yeah, you have to let us know. That's fine. Made improvements to animation coverage for fumble recoveries. I did see a little bit of that. They're still a little wonky, but I guess better. They're getting better every day. It's like the Beatles. We're getting better every day. Blocking. 2 new improved pass block target for running backs in the backfield. LOL. I'll believe it when I see it. There's still a ton of blitzes coming home. Fix the machine causing blocking fullbacks on toss plays. Yeah, my opponent did this once. He tossed the ball. It was just this past week. Tossed the ball, hit his fullback because of the formation I must have been in. I was just in a regular 4-3, I think. 4-3 over, 4-3 under. So he fumbled. He recovered the ball, so it wasn't a major loss except for down for him. Improved logic for pass rush exploits dealing with defenders placing in coverage or QB spy. So they got rid of the spy blitz. And then we'll quickly rush up the middle of the defender formation. So basically, what they did, I tested this on stream, is they patched a little bit of the QB or the user spy mechanic, the user A gap, I guess. It's not as easy as before. I'm still certain there's ways to A gap rush or user rush. It's not as automatic. So they brought back hovering. I've seen a lot of hover blitzes now start working again. So get used to hover blitzes, them coming in, like contain blitzes like we saw prior to the previous patch coming in, but it will be a lot harder to user rush the A-gap. If you're seeing a user A-gap rushes, like you saw in my video, called play action. You can slide your line, but that's the way to stop that stuff. That's the exploiter on field goal blocks. Good. All right, simulation game style. That's cool. All right, we'll go back up to the rest of it. Then I'll talk about, this isn't really, I'm not going to talk too long on this. They basically added visual updates for player likenesses, some new celebrations, and helmets and face masks. I don't really care that much about that visual stuff. I know other people have it more. If you want to look into that, look into yourself. I'll put in the description the title update. Sorry that I've gone so long so far. The franchise updates, cool. Don't really care. Changelog, yeah, and these are the highlights. All right, next up, the route running. This maybe should be its own video. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to continue this video tomorrow morning with my thoughts on the routes and what to get. This has already gone on for almost 24 minutes, so I don't want to bury this at the end. And we'll do this on its own in its own video because I spent like 2 hours testing these things itself. So otherwise, that's it for this video tonight on the patch change notes. Look for the video tomorrow morning on the routes and the changes to them. So thanks for watching. Call to action. I will see you tomorrow.